Right, so let's get into this now. One of the accused in the killing of former ANC Youth League Secretary General Sindiso Magaqa has pleaded guilty. Sibusiso Ncengwa has admitted to being the triggerman and was subsequently convicted by the Pietermaritzburg High Court. 4 people were arrested for the 2017 assassination, which took place in Newzroom Afrika, who was part of the accused, was declared unfit to stand trial following a psychiatric evaluation. Meanwhile, 2 accused, former police officer Andile Lungisa and businessman Andile Lungisa, will return to court on the 19th of June for a new indictment. Ncengwa will be sentenced on the 30th of June.
Last week in the Pietermaritzburg High Court, Ncengwa admitted to shooting the deceased in July 2017 in the Newzroom area. He also admitted to the attempted murders, malicious damage to property, and the joint unlawful possession of firearm. In his admissions, Ncengwa outlined the events leading up to the death of the deceased and the interactions he had with his co-accused. Most of his admissions were accepted by the state.
Let's get reaction to this now. We are joined by former ANC Youth League Deputy President Andile Lungisa. Mr. Lungisa, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And there you have it, that guilty plea by Sibusiso Ncengwa, saying that he voluntarily pleaded guilty to those charges, also corroborating the investigation put forward by police. As you reflect on this, what does this mean? Are you getting closer to justice? And just your initial reaction.
No, I'm very happy that finally the truth is out. Those who were behind the killing of our former SG, Comrade Magaqa, they are known today by each and every South African. I think all of them, the police were involved, the NPA prosecutors were involved, those who are part of the intelligence services were involved, the politicians were involved. All of them, they must be arrested, they must be chased away from those communities. We cannot allow criminality in our own communities, especially killing young people who have worked very hard for their own communities. Today is still very emotional, the killing of Comrade Magaqa, especially as a generation, because we know he stood for the truth, he stood for economic freedom in our lifetime in our own country. He stood for the poor and the working class.
Yeah, what do you make of the details that come out of this confession, though, by Sibusiso Ncengwa? I mean, some of it talking about a tender that Ncengwa himself was promised for up to R1 million, that he would get assistance from the businessman Mbofana to help him apply for the tender. But after the assassination, in this confession, he comes forward to talk about how there was a promise of 120,000 rand that would be paid after the killing of Magaqa. I mean, so it goes into quite a bit of detail.
No, if you go to the community of Newzroom, those people who are part of the sworn affidavit, they were all suspected in that community. They are known about their own criminality. But there are those who are within our ranks who always keep those who are committing criminality, who are mafias, who are feared in our own communities. They were known. Even when we went to the funeral of Comrade Magaqa, people were whispering, oh, but these are the ones who are behind Comrade Magaqa. But at that time, we had no evidence. We could not denounce them. But some of us, we could not even shake their hands. We could not even come closer to them, because we cannot sell the soul of Comrade Magaqa to the criminal network, to the killers, to the people who are looting municipalities without any fear.
Yeah, there's the fact that there wasn't just one attempt on his life, that you know, there was movement on the 12th of July 2017 to try and get closer to Mr. Magaqa, following him, unable to get access to him on that day because there was a police vehicle close to his vehicle, returning again on the 13th of July to take his life. It talks about a well-oiled plan here. What is your understanding of just how much Mr. Sindiso Magaqa knew about the dealings in Newzroom, who he had spoken to, and what it was that spooked the accused and you know, those that have been that are facing the charges of his death?
No, Comrade Sindiso was an honest young comrade, very energetic, very loyal to the movement, the ANC. He came from the ranks of the Youth League. He wanted to serve his own communities with his heart open. But those criminals, they connived, they followed him, as you can read the affidavit. They've tried each and every angle to kill him, up to a level where they then succeeded. But what we must never do as a generation, we must not fail Comrade Magaqa. We must not sell Comrade Magaqa. I'm also disappointed as I'm talking to you. There's not even a single senior organization, those who claim to represent the poor and the working class in this country, who have released even a statement about what was reported by the Sunday newspapers, also what is contained in the affidavit. I think it was only the Youth League early in the morning, even after we made some serious phone calls about what was reported yesterday. I'm simply saying we have a drift in our own country where organizations are claiming to represent the poor. They are drifting away from the working class. They are drifting away from the poor.
Which organizations are you talking about, Mr. Lungisa?
They should have condemned what is contained in that affidavit. I'm really disappointed.
Yeah.
I will never sell Magaqa's soul or Magaqa's blood because of patronage or because of a piece of a slice of bread.
Which organizations are you talking about?
There's not even a single organization. All organizations in this country, they claim to represent the working class. They claim to represent the poor. They claim to fight against criminality, against crime in our own communities. If you talk about people who are getting killed, it cannot be reduced to the issue of membership. It becomes an issue of society. I'm talking about all organizations who have not released even a single statement after the Sunday newspapers and the newsrooms and all the media and the social platforms were condemning the act, the killing of Comrade Sindiso Magaqa.
Are you talking about the ANC as part of that? Because you've mentioned the ANC Youth League releasing a statement. Are you saying that the mother body has not? Because you're mentioning you're not being specific. So I'm asking if you're talking about the mother body as well, having not been outspoken enough.
No, I'm saying about every person who takes a platform, who claims to represent the poor and the working class. We have not released a statement today. I have not seen any statement except the statement which was released by the Youth League after 10:30 today.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Mr.
And then
Lungisa,
when Comrade Magaqa passed on, he was a member of the ANC, was no longer a member of the Youth League.
Interesting point. Mr. Lungisa, before I let you go, what we should be reflecting on as we hear from this confession the details of what's going on. I mean, we hear that he told the court that that as the killer, as the triggerman, he was warned about officials that wanted him killed because he wanted these officials to be arrested for corruption. As we close this discussion, what is it that we need to be reflecting on as a country about how we deal with graft and whistleblowers?
They must be chased away from our communities. They must all be arrested. As I'm talking to you, I'm in my community of Gqeberha. We are fighting criminals. We are chasing them away from our own community. We are not longer going to wait for any other authority. If they are not performing their own work, we need to chase criminals away from our own community. Even that community of Mzimkhulu must not fold their arms, even us as a generation. We can no longer fold our own arms. We must be in charge. We must take over our communities and fight criminality in our communities and liaise with state agencies. Okay. Those who are breaking their own legs, we are not going to wait for them.
All right. Mr. Andile Lungisa, the former Deputy President of the African National Congress, African ANC Youth League, let me rather say that, responding to the guilty plea by Sibusiso Ncengwa, where he voluntarily pled guilty to charges of his involvement in the death of the former ANC Youth League Secretary General Sindiso Magaqa back in 2017.